I've heard in this past hour from Nigel Farage that he will take over from Richard Tice as leader of Reform UK and that he will stand as a candidate for MP in Clacton in the upcoming general election. Here's a reminder of the moment he made that announcement.
But difficult though it is, I can't let down those millions of people. I simply can't do it. It'd be wrong. So I have decided, I've changed my mind. It's allowed, you know. It's not always a sign of weakness. It could potentially be a sign of strength. So I am going to stand in this election. I'll be launching my candidacy at midday tomorrow in the Essex seaside town of Clacton. So midday tomorrow, Clacton, at the end of the pier.
Well, I'm joined now by GBNews' senior political commentator, Nigel Nelson. Nigel, thank you for waiting patiently. I know you've been waiting to get your opinion across all this time. Well, that put the cat amongst the pigeons, didn't it?
It certainly did. The great thing about general elections is the unexpected keeps happening. So however well planned the various parties do their campaigns, they're always knocked off track by something coming completely out of the blue. And Nigel has certainly come completely out of the blue this afternoon.
Now, he was very boorish as well as the factual announcements. He's now the new leader. Richard Tice is the party chairman and he will stand as a candidate. He said, I intend to lead a political revolt. He's talked a lot, Nigel, about this being a turning of our backs on the status quo. He specifically mentioned a lot of young people he's meeting on the campaign trail. He said nothing works in Britain. And he made a very bullish prediction that he genuinely believes that the Reform Party can get more votes than the Conservatives at this general election. Nevertheless, though, Nigel, he's tried 7 times before and he hasn't done it. Do you think it could be different this time?
I'm afraid I don't. I mean, when you look at that kind of typical Nigel boast, initially in his statement he was saying, "Oh well, I'll improve UKIP's 4 million votes from 2015." Then he went on to say he'll get more than the Conservatives. Well, that means more than 20 million votes, which is highly unlikely with what's left of the campaign for a very new insurgent party. Now, if you look at the various polls, we've seen the GBNews poll today with a 21-point lead for Labour. That puts Reform on 18. A YouGov poll has dropped within the last couple of minutes. That gives Reform 15 points. But even that doesn't deliver any MPs. Our first past the post system always conspires against small parties. And even though Reform are doing better than, say, the Lib Dems are still predicted to get between 40 and 50 MPs.
But the point with that, though, Nigel, is that those polls were conducted before this announcement. Do you think this announcement will change the playing field? When we look specifically at the constituency of Clacton, a poll was carried out by Survation in January. Without Farage, it'd be a Conservative hold by 8 points. But with Farage on the battlefield, he would take that seat by 10 points. So the polls do suggest that there would be a significant change were Nigel Farage not only to stand as an individual, but as the party leader. Do you think that will have an impact, or do you think it will? The only impact it will have, as people are saying at that press conference, it will hand Sir Keir Starmer the keys to number 10?
Certainly, Labour benefit mostly out of this. It's Tory voters who are most likely to go to Reform. When it comes to Clacton, yes, Nigel's got a good chance to win Clacton, although he has to overturn a 25,000 Tory majority there to do it. I thought he would take South Thanet when he was standing there for UKIP back in 2015. I spent some time with him on the campaign trail down there. He didn't. He came second there. It was one of his big disappointments, but it just shows that it's very difficult to turn even someone with the personality and charisma of Nigel Farage into voting. So what this might do, though, is increase the Reform polling share. So if they start going above 20%, that's when they start picking up MPs. Not very many, but it's when you start to actually make a real difference.
OK, thanks, Nigel Nelson. Thanks for being patient and waiting all that time to get stuck in.